Members of Parliament on the Environment and Natural Resources Committee have decried rampant degradation of the environment and natural resources, leading to a massive reduction in the quality and quantity available for domestic consumption and economic activities. This was during a meeting between members of Parliament on the Natural Resources Committee and civil society organization CSOs working on issues on water, sanitation and hygiene, WASH and Environment and Natural Resources ENR. The meeting was organized by Uganda Water and Sanitation NGO Network, UWASNET, and IRC Uganda to inform the parliamentarians about the Watershed program, discuss key issues in WASH and IWRM, and make recommendations on how the issues can be addressed effectively.
Environmental degradation is the biggest threat of our time. For me, that's how I look at it. And it knows no color, it knows no political affiliation, it is affecting all of us equally. And touching it, or all efforts and strategies to protect the environment, they need to involve everyone.
So we came together and we put together a proposal to specifically work on issues of WASH and IWRM, but looking at civil society. How can we improve the capacity of civil society organizations to engage in those issues? What are the linkages between WASH and water resources management? How can you talk about only water and not talk about the source? How can you talk about only planting infrastructure and not talk about sustainability of the infrastructure? So that connection is the thread, is the piece that links all this together.
Currently, 30% of the population in Uganda lacks access to safe water, while degradation of water bodies and deforestation continue unabated. In June 2018, the Water and Environment Sector Performance Report indicated that deforestation has led to the decline of forest cover from 24% in 1990 to 11% in 2015 and 9% in 2018. Regarding wetlands management, as of June 2018, 4.1% of wetlands in Uganda were reported as degraded and 2.6% completely lost.
We have a big river, Muzizi. This river, when you look at the activities that people are carrying out on this activity, and I want to disagree with it is the rich people only to destroy the environment. It is all of us. You find people have consistently cut all the river banks. The trees are gone. They are getting to cutting these, I don't know, the papyrus in the swamp, so that the land is reclaimed for agriculture.
We are experiencing now a lot of flooding, which you know is eating up many and destroying many of our livelihood, because the control, movement and running of water is no longer there. Catchment areas need to be protected, and we need to fight this seriously.
The other day when we visited Nakasiki, people were ferrying water from this side and the animals were dying. We registered so many deaths of cattle. Why? In this country, where we have Lake Victoria, River Nile, so many lakes around us and rivers, our planning strategies are still the lowest.
Apart from disrupting livelihoods, destruction of natural resources is further compromising the longevity of road infrastructure.
I went to Lukaya. I come from Chotera, I told you. I went to visit Lukaya. There is a lot of rice that has taken over the entire swamp. There is a company, wait, when you go to Parliament, you put me on order. There is a company, yes, there is a company that is extracting sand from the lake. We visited tons and tons of sand from the lake, and it's taken somewhere. Now we see what is happening on the road to Masaka. It is every time falling in.
MPs were of the conviction that much of the environmental degradation is attributed to poor governance, characterized by corruption, lack of transparency and integrity, wrongful allocation of protected water resources for development.
But if we don't deal with the corruption that we have, Even if we appropriate millions and billions of money, we are just wasting our time. Yes, this is the reality. Some people don't want to hear the reality. When you talk about governance, when you talk about corruption, let us, even if you are eating somewhere, think about your grandchildren. Think about your grandchildren when you have died. Some of us are going to die with this government. What is going to happen next?
While some financial resources are allocated to the water and environment sector, there is a general lack of monitoring and accountability.
We can even say we allocate money to Ministry of Water and what? Environment. The money looks to be a big chunk. But what happens when it comes to the smaller subsectors? When it comes to forestry, when it comes to environment, the money now becomes what? Smaller. It disappears. Have we really been keen to those details? For me, that is the real thing. We say 60 billion to Ministry of Water. Go and follow. How much has been put in what? Forestry.
Apart from bad governance, MPs expressed concern about limited funding, noting that key interventions in WASH and IWRM are funded by external donors, with limited input from government. Moreover, much of the funding is allocated to areas that do not have pressing issues or are already getting too much funding.
Dutch government is actually funding 100%. So that means if it is there, the funding is 100%, as she has said, anything can happen, and they stop the funding. What next from there?
Other challenges raised included the general lack of awareness leading to limited participation of communities, limited personnel, failure to implement policies and regulations, absence of bylaws and ordinances at local government level.
The reason that most of these catchment management plans or these good strategies have not been implemented is because there are no personnel. There are inadequate personnel in those structures, the decentralized structures. You find one man attending to 16 or 30 districts. I think Albert Water Management Zone has 30 districts. One man, he has to ride the motorcycle all around the districts. One, you find one district water officer serving a population of over 40,000.
We are not empowering these environmental officers at the district to execute their roles in relation to the environmental office desk. It's because they are not financed. They don't have the money to execute their duties. Now, how do you expect them, if they are not empowered, if they are not funded, how do you expect them to execute their roles? It means they cannot.
CSOs urged parliamentarians to make appropriate policy and legislation and to allocate adequate resources.
Parliament and our colleagues and honorable members from the committee are already doing a good role and responsibility, but we need to tighten the bolts, or even sanction and, I don't know, I think you have that role as well. Sanction and question some of those models and the formulas. And actually, one thing I want to emphasize is the nexus and linkages between these different sectors. And the challenge is that for long we've been planning within our boxes, people of water planning as people of water, people of forestry planning as people of forestry, and so on for wetlands and other sub-sectors. But in the reality, if you go in these catchments, there is the interaction with all these.
MPs promised to continue pushing the government to allocate more funds to water resources management. They recommended that citizens should participate in planning for and managing environment and water resources.
It means this is something which each of us should advocate and lobby for. We should stand as a team to ensure that our environment is protected for the good of our people.
We need to think harder. We need to get involved as local people, as policymakers, as civil society, at different levels that I will not mention here if we are to survive this.
Let us bring everybody on board, including the president, because the owner of the purse on behalf of the what? The people. I'm happy already you have started with natural resources what? Committee. But again, the wider number of members is critical.
Now my suggestion is, why can't we come up with a proposal right from here as a forum and say we need to get a Uganda Environmental Protection Unit, and we can make it an Akuna Mchezo unit, because we are sitting on a time bomb. If we don't protect our environment, time will tell.
Finally, I call for more engagement. Today is one good meeting. If we can have many more regular meetings with civil society and other players, we can bring the whole house. We can get parliament and get the whole country involved in realizing the reality that they are living with, and we can be able to make a difference in the near future.
So can we arrange and have a meeting with the president? Can we arrange a meeting with the National Planning Authority, a meeting with the speaker, and then the prime minister, the minister of water? You are the ones to organize and see how you meet them, either in one meeting or differently.
On behalf of the Natural Resources Committee of Parliament, Honorable Ronald Mogome pledged continued support and engagement with CSOs.
I want to assure you that for us we are committed, especially the Committee of Natural Resources. We are committed to work with you in the areas of budget, planning. Make sure you invite us whenever you feel you want to engage us. We are ready.